So you're thinking about starting a private practice in 2026, but you're not totally sure where to begin. Maybe you're done with hospital policies, or you're tired of working hard and getting paid less. Or maybe you're craving more control over your time, your income, and the way you take care of patients. But before you hand in that resignation letter, there are a few crucial things that you need to do. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what it takes to launch a successful private practice in 2026, what to expect, what to avoid, and how to do it the smart way. Before you do anything crazy, you've got to ask yourself a few honest questions. Why do you actually want to start a private practice? Is it the hospital policies or politics, the burnout, or are you craving more control over your time and income? Your why is the most important thing to get clear on right now, because it's going to keep you going when things start to get really hard. So it needs to be really strong. Next, are you ready to manage the businessy stuff? Because running a practice means managing staff, handling finances, and making operational decisions every single day. And if you aren't, are you prepared to at least hire somebody who can do those things for you? Next, have you started saving money for your startup costs? For most physicians, a target for a new practice startup is around $225,000. But that depends on your specialty and what kind of equipment you plan to have. Next, do you have the right people around you? A consultant, a mentor, a small advisory team who really knows this world and understands it. And finally, do you have the support? Because building a practice is really exciting, but it's also really demanding and stressful. And you're going to want family, friends, consultants, or mentors in your corner. Now, if you can confidently answer these questions, you're already way ahead of where most physicians start in this journey. And once you've answered those big questions and you feel confident about moving forward, the next step is to start laying the foundation. And the first thing you need to do is have a solid business plan. Now, it doesn't have to be anything complicated or fancy, but it does need to clearly outline what you want to build and how you want to do it. Think of it as your roadmap. What services are you going to offer? Who are you going to offer them to? How you're going to operate? And how the numbers make sense. And if you don't know where to start on the business plan, we've actually already created an easy, fillable business plan template that you can purchase online right now. It walks you through exactly what to write, gives you examples, and the best part, you can submit it directly to the bank when you're applying for funding. Now, you can purchase this through the link in the descriptions. Next, you need to check your business name with the Secretary of State to make sure that it's available. Once it is, go ahead and reserve it to form your entity, whether it's an LLC, a PLC, or whatever your state requires. You can also hire a lawyer or a consulting company that'll do this for you. Then you get your tax ID or your EIN number. And make sure you saved at least $40,000 in liquid cash. That money's going to go towards deposits and rent, legal retainers, consulting, and the early commitments you need that you can't avoid. From there, you can start building your executive team. These are the people who are going to support your launch. This usually includes a banker who understands medical practices, a healthcare business consultant, a healthcare-specific realtor, a CPA or bookkeeper, credentialing services, a lawyer, and maybe credentialing services if you're planning to take insurance. Now, if you get these things in motion before you resign, you'll avoid a lot of unnecessary stress and delays. Now, coming up next is a thing you must know and have before you even start your credentialing, and that's your location. Now, I highly recommend using a healthcare realtor for this. When you're choosing a space for your practice, there are a few key things that you need to look for. You want plenty of patient parking. You need to have easy access to your building. It has to be a well-maintained environment, room for signage so people can find you. And if your specialty needs to be close proximity to a hospital, make sure you're close enough for convenience. And think ahead a little bit. Is there room for you to grow over the next few years? You need to pay close attention to your leasing term too. Negotiate things like signage rights, build-out credits. Those details really matter. Remember, don't do this alone. Use a healthcare-specific realtor. They understand zoning and traffic, referral patterns, and the little things that most physicians don't even think about. And remember, you'll need your location before you begin credentialing, which can take 3 to 6 months. Now, once you started the credentialing process, it's time to pick your EMR. Start by making a list of all your must-haves. Things like billing, scheduling, automated appointment reminders, telehealth. Then list your nice-to-haves, maybe built-in marketing tools or patient portal. Look at systems you've used before, but don't just default to what's familiar. Make sure you research EMRs designed specifically for solo and small practices. They're usually simpler, cheaper, and way more efficient for new owners. Make sure you schedule demos with them so you can see how they actually work and what they look like. And here's a little tip. Some EMRs include integrated billing. That alone can save you from hiring a full-time or part-time biller, which could keep your overhead down. But you need to make sure that they're actually actively pursuing your denials. Otherwise, it's not worth getting them. Now, once you're about a month and a half out from being fully credentialed or from opening your doors, you can start hiring your team. In the beginning, keep it lean. You may only be starting with a front desk and a medical assistant, or you may also want to hire a part-time biller, or maybe a billing company too. And make sure you create a clear job description from day one, and also include at the end and other duties assigned. This keeps it open for you to be able to add more to their plate if you need to. Keep in mind, younger staff especially do better when expectations are laid out up front. It sets the tone and avoids confusion later. And when it comes to benefits and perks, most practices start with 2 weeks of PTO. That doesn't kick in till after a 90-day trial period. And if you can't afford full insurance yet, maybe consider alternatives like direct primary care model for just your staff, or maybe your staff and their spouse. Or you can even do a monthly stipend toward the insurance that they get. Now, before you ever open your doors, you need to start pre-launching your marketing. Make sure you set up a Google My Business page, because this is one of the biggest drivers of new patients. Then create an Instagram and Facebook page and use Canva templates to help you build a few posts. This will also help your brand look consistent and branded. Then look at joining your local chamber of commerce. They're really great for doing ribbon cutting ceremonies and bringing a lot of attention to your practice. Then start designing promo material. Have something memorable for your referral doctors, or a simple giveaway option for your patients, like magnets or another small freebie. And finally, start pre-booking your patients before you even open the doors. You want patients on your schedule before day one. Now, when opening week finally arrives, expect a few hiccups. It's completely normal. You're going to be learning a lot, and so will your staff. You're going to learn how your systems actually work in real time, how your staff handles the flow, and what your patients need from you. Make monthly team meetings a habit from day one till everything starts to get smoothed out. That's where you're going to spot issues early and keep improving your operation. Now, here's a few keys to success. Stay flexible, stay adaptable, and encourage your team to speak up. Your systems and workflows will need tweaking. That's part of building a strong, efficient practice. And it's totally normal for many pivots and tweaks in the beginning. Now, if you're still watching, that tells me you're serious about starting your own practice. And that's incredible. But here's the thing, starting from scratch isn't your only option. Before you make any big moves, I highly recommend checking out my next video on what you need to know before buying an existing practice. You might be surprised at how much easier and faster it is. Now, see you in the next video.